Your body is not separate from your success. It's the foundation of your success. When you take care of your body, you increase your capacity, you increase your clarity, you increase your ability to show up fully for the people and the work that matters most.
Welcome to the Life Coaching for Mompreneurs podcast, where you will learn simple solutions to win at work without losing at home. Hi, my name is Martine Williams, and I am your host and CEO, your Chief Encouragement Officer. And this podcast is your one-stop shop to creating a burnout-proof life and business by elevating your clarity, confidence, and courage. Friends, it's time to say goodbye to being the yes girl, to procrastinating on your goals and living in overwhelm. And it's time to say hello to creating healthy boundaries, healthy mindsets, and healthy habits so that you can achieve work-life harmony. Your next breakthrough starts here. This is the Life Coaching for Mompreneurs podcast. Let's do this.
Suppose you were to come upon someone in the woods working feverishly to saw down a tree. What are you doing, you ask? Can't you see? Comes the impatient reply. I'm sawing down this tree. Well, you look exhausted, you exclaim. How long have you been at this? Over 4 hours, he returns, and I am beat. This is hard work. Well, being the super smart woman that you are, says, why don't you take a break for a few minutes and sharpen that saw? I'm sure it would go a lot faster. To which he replies, I don't have time to sharpen the saw. I'm too busy sawing. Now, how ridiculous does that sound? But how many of us say the same things every day in regards to our own life and taking care of us? Especially as women, we tend to take care of everyone else first, with very little time left for us to renew our bodies, our minds, our emotions, and our spirits. Well, today, as we continue the Big B Word series, we're talking about body, protecting the asset that powers your life. So we're going to be talking about this word body, like you, and how it gets overlooked when we're discussing success, productivity, leadership, all of those things. That word gets overlooked because with all of the women that I've coached, and I've been coaching women for 2 decades now, it's something that I've noticed over and over and over again with high achieving women, especially mompreneurs. It's actually the reason that I started and created my first course, Choose You. It's the reason that I continue to coach women, because I saw it over and over and over again, and I personally experienced it. We will invest in our businesses, we'll invest in courses, we'll invest in systems and strategies and planners and tools. But the one thing that actually carries all of it, the one thing that powers every decision, every idea, every conversation, every leadership moment, is our body. And yet that's often the thing that we neglect the most. We push through exhaustion, we ignore the signals, we tell ourselves we'll take care of ourselves later. But you know the truth, and I want to anchor this conversation to it. You've heard me say it here on the podcast. You are the asset, not your strategy, your calendar, your to-do list, you. And if the asset isn't cared for, everything else eventually breaks down. So today we're going to be talking about why caring for your body is not selfish, it's stewardship. Your body is the foundation of sustainable success. I've had the opportunity now over 300 episodes and 4 years of having this podcast to interview some of the most amazing women in business, entrepreneurs, CEOs, and a common theme with all of them is one of their success tools, or their main one, is this taking care of their body. They do things very strategically and intentionally to take care of the foundation, to protect the asset. So again, you can have the best mindset in the world. You can have the clearest goals. You can have the best strategy for your business. But if your energy is depleted, your focus is scattered and your body is exhausted. Like, none of that is sustainable. Your body carries everything. It carries your brain, your creativity, your emotions, your leadership, your relationships. It carries the work that you feel called to do. And yet many women treat their bodies like machines. that should just keep running. No maintenance, no pause, no renewal, and we call it discipline. And look, I'm like the president of that club. At one time, I was the president of that club. Check engine lights were on all over the place, and I was not checking in, I was checking out. Because that's what happens, right? We go and we go and we go, and then we just crash. So instead of quitting, we have to learn to rest. We have to learn to protect the asset. And that might look different for every single one of us. But the body eventually pushes back when we're just treating it like a machine. That's when the burnout shows up. That's when the brain fog shows up. Irritability shows up. And this is not because you're weak. It's because you're human. And I think sometimes we forget that. And I was interviewing a recent Turquoise Talk guest, and she was talking about the cape that we all wear as Superwoman. So sharpening your saw, as I started out this episode with, it's your number one job. Like, I was just texting a former client who is launching a new business as a co-CEO, and there's, some amazing things that are happening, and she's traveling and she's going from here and going from there, and just all really good stuff. And I just reminded her, I'm like, your number one job is to protect the asset so that you can show up at all of these places with a full tank. So again, like, imagine trying to cut down a tree with a dull saw. You could keep pushing harder and harder, but the work just becomes slower, heavier, and more frustrating. And maybe some of you are experiencing that right now. You're pushing, but it feels slower, it feels heavier, you're more frustrated than normal. What would happen if you just paused for a moment to sharpen the blade? Suddenly, that effort, the same effort, produces better results. That's what caring for your body does. Movement sharpens your focus. I say movement is medicine. Rest sharpens your thinking. Hydration sharpens your energy. And sleep sharpens your ability to lead well. It's not indulgent to take care of your body. I think it's a responsibility. Honestly, self-care is not selfish. I think it's actually more selfish to not take care of your body. Because how can you show up as the mom and the wife and the friend and the entrepreneur that you want to be if you're exhausted, if you're not your strongest self? It's the maintenance for the tool that carries your calling. Taking care of your body, protecting your asset it's the maintenance for the tool that carries everything. It carries your calling. So again, one of the simplest ways for you to care for your body is almost the one that's the most overlooked. I would say two of them. The first one is the movement. And I'm not talking about extreme workouts or unrealistic routines. I'm talking about moving your body regularly and intentionally. If you work from home, could you, make sure you're getting up and not just sitting at your desk all day? Could you go for a walk? Could you do some exercises right there in your home? Most of you probably don't know this, but I actually went to school to become an exercise physiologist. So that was my major in college, and I worked in cardiac rehab for 7 years. So exercise and the importance of exercise has been a part of my life for a really long. I've been active most of my life as a gymnast and a dancer, but working in cardiac rehab and seeing people of all ages coming through those doors, quadruple bypass, heart attack, stent placement. I'll never forget this young, I think she was like 30, had a quadruple bypass surgery. And it just heart disease and those kinds of diseases, they don't discriminate. And this is one way that you can be proactive in protecting the asset. When you move your body, your stress hormones decrease, your mood improves, your brain becomes more focused, your creativity increases. Some of my best ideas come when I'm on my walk or when I'm working out. And for me, it gets me out of my head and into my body. So much as a high achieving woman is in my head, thinking and strategizing, and exercise allows me to just drop down out of my brain and into my body. And there's healing in that, and there's rest in that, and there's awareness in that.
Quick pause. If you've been listening and you're ready to stop performing your life and start leading it, if you know you're ready to feel better now, not later,
and you're ready for support that actually creates sustainable transformation, I have private one-on-one coaching spots open. And inside this coaching, in Illuminate You coaching, we don't guess. We use your unique personality blueprint built from the science-backed personality and performance tool called the ProScan, the one you've heard me talk about here in the podcast. This is used so that every decision, every boundary, every shift is designed specifically around your wiring, not someone else's. This is my aligned success method. It's not hacks. It's not try harder. It's not mindset glitter. It's a real solution. It's rooted in science, strategy, and your unique design. So you can lead your life as the woman you actually are, not the woman others expect you to be. Now is the time. Take the step. Book your clarity call at martinewilliams.com/clarity. All right, back to the episode. So movement is one of the fastest ways to shift your mental and emotional state. And it doesn't have to be complicated, y'all. It's a walk outside. It's a strength workout. It's stretching. It's dancing in the kitchen, having a jam session in the car. Consistency matters more than intensity. I used to tell my patients all the time when I worked in cardiac rehab, when they would graduate from the program and they would say, well, what should I do for maintenance? I'm like, you should pick whatever you will do consistently. I don't care if that's walking. I don't care if that's riding a bike. I don't care if that's, going to the gym and getting on an elliptical. Like, what will you consistently do to move your body, to take care of your body? The goal isn't punishment. We're not exercising to punish our bodies for what we ate. We're not exercising to punish ourselves for just fill in the blank. There's lots of reasons I hear people that use exercise as a form of like punishment. But the goal is to partnership with your body. Give it what it needs. It needs movement. And I know there's someone listening right now and you're like, I hate to exercise. You know what? I don't like to eat vegetables, but they're good for us, right? So this is where you adult parent yourself, right? And movement matters, and movement is medicine, movement is good for you. So you're going to decide and choose to take care of the asset. There's a lot of things that I don't like to do but need to get done. There's a lot of things that you don't like to do that you get done for your kids, for your spouse. So don't let your brain take you down that road. And when it does, bring it back to movement is medicine. This is me protecting the asset. And there's a confidence that comes when you know that you are making a powerful, positive decision for you and for your body and for your health. It just creates a standing a little taller, shoulders back. I mean, there's just so many benefits. I could go on and on about benefits of exercise. But your body is always communicating. It's constantly sending signals: fatigue, tension in your shoulders, headaches, brain fog, difficulty sleeping. These are signals. They're not inconveniences. They're signals. They're check engine lights. They're communication. But how many times do we often, or have we learned to override those signals instead of listening to them for the sake of performance? When you're in the performance loop, you're not paying attention to these signals. We tell ourselves, I'll rest later. I'll just push through this week. I'll take care of myself after this season. But when this season, in air quotes, turns into years, your body eventually demands your attention. I remember one of my mantras that my coach taught me years ago, my very first coach, was I can do anything for a short period of time, which is true. And there were times where I was, working to earn a trip or working to promote to a new title. And that was kind of my mantra. I can do anything for a short period of time. And I remember I got to a place where I was burnt out, and I said that mantra back to my coach, and she was like, we said that 2 years ago. That was not supposed to be a 2-year mantra. That was for that season when you were working strategically and focusing on earning that thing. So while we can do anything for a short period of time, that's the key, short period of time. So yes, there are going to be times where you grow your capacity to hold a lot of things at the same time. That's the beautiful thing, is you can grow your capacity in a very healthy way. But even in that growth of your capacity, protecting the asset is what allows you to do that. So listening to your body isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's wisdom. And I want to clear something up because when you hear the word self-care, you might be thinking manicure, pedicure, spa day. And some of those things are parts of self-care. And if you've heard me talk about this or attended one of my workshops, you know I go into detail on what self-care is and what it isn't. But for the sake of this podcast and the time on this episode, I'm not talking about bubble baths and spa days when I'm talking about caring for your body. Those can be nice for sure. But real self-care is more foundational. It looks like getting enough sleep, moving your body regularly, eating food that fuels you, drinking enough water, creating space for recovery, protecting your mindset. Who are you hanging around? Do they feed your energy? Do they drain your energy? So with my clients, I talk about the core four, and the core four are movement, hydration, rest, and eating. If you could just schedule in those core four every day, then you know you're making a conscious decision to protect the asset. You're moving your body, you're hydrating your body, you're resting your body, and you're feeding your body fuel. These are not luxuries, y'all. They're requirements for sustainable leadership. They're requirements for sustainable success because when your body is cared for, everything else becomes easier to manage. And it's usually the first thing to go. Like, it's so interesting to me. And I've done this too. So again, no judgment or shame, but like when I'm talking with a client and their crunch time or they have a lot going on, like the first thing that goes is protecting the asset, whether that be the coaching session, like I just can't make the coaching session this week or I didn't get my workout in this week. It's just the first thing to go. But if you change your mindset around the fact that this is the way that I protect the asset so that I can show up well in all those other areas, it just helps you to protect it even more. So you are the asset, and this is the shift that I wanted you to take today. This is what I wanted you to be thinking about today, that you're not just managing a business, you're not just managing a household, you're managing the human being who carries all of it. And that human being deserves care, attention, and renewal. Your body is not separate from your success. It's the foundation of your success. When you take care of your body, you increase your capacity, you increase your clarity, you increase your ability to show up fully for the people and the work that matters most. So here's a simple challenge for you this week. I want you to ask yourself one question. What is one small way that I can take better care of my body this week? Maybe it's going for a walk every morning. Maybe it's getting to bed earlier. Maybe it's drinking more water or stretching between meetings. It doesn't have to be dramatic. Don't overthink this. Just get started. That's one of my mantras that I tell myself all the time. Don't overcomplicate this, Martine. Just get started. It doesn't cost you a dime to put on your tennis shoes and go for a walk. It doesn't cost you a dime to get on the floor and do some stretching. Small, consistent actions create big shifts over time. Remember, consistency over intensity. So, friend, your body is not something to fight against. It's something to work with. It's the vehicle that carries your purpose, your relationships, and your work. So if you want sustainable success, don't sharpen your strategy. Sharpen your saw. Take care of the asset. And remember, when you take care of yourself, you increase your capacity to show up for everything and everyone else in your life. So if this resonates with you, I'd love for you to come to Instagram at Martine31Williams and let me know what you're planning to do. What's the one thing that you're going to implement this week to take care of your body? And if you want to work with someone on this on a regular basis, like this is the area that I need help with. Like when we look at your personality blueprint, your unique personality blueprint, even with regards to self-care and to exercise, there's a natural way that you are going to be inclined to do that. And so finding the right exercise, finding the right routine based on your personality is going to increase your level of success to actually follow through on that. And then the mindset and the thoughts that we would create will also help set you up for success. So I encourage you to go to martinewilliams.com/clarity and book a clarity call. Let's talk about it. Let's see where you're at in this area and see what needs to be done to move forward. It's just that simple. getting your behavior and your beliefs in alignment is what's going to help you to create that success. So I'm here for that. I'm here for you. Thank you for tuning into this podcast, and I will catch you on a next episode.
Well, that's a wrap, friends. Thank you for tuning into today's episode. I really hope it met you right where you are and gave you some encouragement for your day. Could you do me the biggest favor and leave me a rating and review? Seriously, it's the best way for you to support the show. And while you're there, be sure to follow the show so you never miss an episode. Thanks again. And until next time, I am believing in you always.